welcome back to our channel. Today we're going to talk about me, Duncan, our wild and crazy pug. Today we're going to talk about our most commonly asked questions about moving to Lexington, South Carolina. So if that is something that interests you and you're thinking about moving this way, stay tuned and don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you in just a second. Bye!
Hi, welcome back to the channel. I'm Jonathan.tiedman.
And I'm Heather.Tiedman, and we are the Lexington group powered by eXp Realty.
So today we're going to talk about the top 5 questions we get asked when people are trying to move to Lexington or Columbia or South Carolina in general. And by far, our number one most frequent question is, what are some good schools? Or how are the schools there? Or is it a good area?
Yeah, by far the most common question we get. And the simple answer is, legally we're not allowed to tell you that. Because realtors are not allowed to tell you what is a good school or a good area. And if a realtor is telling you that, they're really not supposed to be. Because honestly, it all boils down to opinions. Like, I can give you my opinion about a school or my opinion about an area, but like, what if you bought a house based on my opinion and then you get robbed the next week? Then you're mad at me, and it's like a whole thing. So we try to avoid that, you know?
We also hope you don't get robbed next week.
Please don't. I hope you don't get robbed. But with that said, we are always happy to send you resources so you can find out this information for yourself. We have links and websites and articles to send over to you so you can check the school ratings, the school reviews, opinions from other parents, report cards,
yeah,
as well as check the crime in the area. We have all those resources for you so you can find out if this is an area that you would feel comfortable in. And we are always happy to send it to you. My email is in the description below. You shoot me over an email and I'll send you those links right over. Also, we have a couple of Facebook groups that you can join, and you can ask the members there their opinions, and that is also linked in the description, but they are called Moving to Lexington, South Carolina, and Friends of Lexington County.
And just remember, those are just the opinions of your peers. There's not always going to be 100% facts in a Facebook group, but if you want to talk to someone in the area, or if you're looking for maybe to make a friend or something, if you are coming down here like that, those are some good areas to go look for that kind of stuff.
For sure. Like they say, everyone has an opinion. So that brings us right into number 2.
Our number 2 most frequently asked question is, are there really that many bugs in South Carolina? Yes. All right, question 3. No. Question 2 is, are there that many bugs, or are the bugs as bad as people say they are? And yes, it is. There are a ton of bugs in South Carolina. Most namely, mosquitoes are a really big one. Some people
State bird, actually.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
The palmetto bug, which
a lot of people think are cockroaches, but they're not. They're actually just diminutive cockroaches. They're 3 times the size of your regular cockroach.
But they don't infest your house.
Yeah,
they don't.
They
don't cause like infestations. They don't get attracted because your house is dirty or things like that. So, and they're, at first sight, they do look like cockroaches, but they're not.
Yeah. So and there are ways to avoid them. They like to come out when it's raining and things like that. They'll come out. They'll try to sneak into your house. So, but there are ways to avoid them.
So you could spray around the corners of your house and along the baseline of your house with a broad spectrum insecticide. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry, go ahead. And also there's, obviously hiring someone to do pest control, but, things like filling any of the cracks and gaps and from getting the outside to the inside kind of thing.
And then you could also get a cat, but I would go with the broad spectrum insecticide first. I wouldn't get a cat.
There's nothing wrong with a cat.
Moving on?
Yeah, moving on.
All right.
Oh, wait, no, we didn't touch on fire ants.
Fire
ants. Oh, man.
They'll bite the fire out of you. Is this Southern term?
Yeah, they can get bad here. I haven't noticed them as much here in Lexington as I did from our actual hometown. I'm from a more rural part of South Carolina, but
yeah. So coming from New York originally, we're used to seeing these big ant mounds, and those were just like black ants or things like that, and they wouldn't bother you. You know, you could touch them, they would crawl on you, and you just flick them off and stuff like that. Not really a big deal. But fire ants are like a whole different ballpark. They're smaller than black ants. They're red and they bite, and when they bite, it hurts.
Why? A lot.
Don't know why it hurts so bad, but then it swells up and almost gets like a pimple type thing on you and itches. It's bad. So.
And those you can also treat yourself. You can treat the ant mounds in your backyard, or you can hire someone to do that. That is completely up to you. And I really don't notice them as much here in Lexington, though. Have you noticed them?
No, not as much at all. I mean, where we came from in our rural town here, they were bad. Yeah. And here, not so much. Maybe because it's more built up.
Maybe.
Now we're moving on?
Now we're moving on.
All right, number 3. You want to take it?
Is the weather. We've touched on this other video, so we're not going to waste your time. But it is, without doubt, one of our top 5 questions we get asked. Is it really that hot in here,
yes.
Or how is the weather? And the answer is yes. During the summer, it is extremely hot. It is extremely humid. You go outside, and by the time you make it to your car, you're wet. Your hair's wet, your skin's wet, your face is wet, everything's wet.
We've had people come and say they were going to buy dehumidifiers for their house because of how humid it was here. Yep. It's not that it rains, it's just the humidity levels are insane.
So, I mean, I'm not going to touch on it too much other than the fact that it is hot during the summer and spring and fall. And then it cools off a little bit in the winter. Actually, we don't really get snow. And we didn't actually get snow this time either. But this last weekend they called for snow. And upstate got snow. And ice and all that. We got a little bit of ice. Very, very small amount. I know Kershaw County saw a lot of ice. And Northeast Columbia saw some ice. But Lexington, we didn't really get any ice. And they're also calling for snow this weekend again.
We'll keep you posted next week if we do.
If we get snow, we'll tell you.
But one thing you should know is that South Carolina, and I know some people from the north are like, it's not that cold down there. Y'all don't know how to drive in the snow. We don't. I mean, it's true. It never happens down here. Why would we know? We've never experienced something like that. So,
Which brings us right along to our number 4, which is driving. Nice segue. Unintentionally.
But if it does freeze down here, do take caution. Some of the drivers aren't experienced. It gets very congested. It gets very congested and people go slower and, take extra care. It's not like driving in New York.
All right. So
now we'll go to driving.
Number 4, which is driving, which is not really what we actually meant by the driving. A lot of people ask, when people think of South Carolina, they think rural and countryside, but really that is not what this area of don't get me wrong, there are areas where you can move where it's very rural and it's very countryside and there's not, you don't have neighbors and there's not a lot of stores and things like that. That is not Lexington and Columbia or Irmo or any of these surrounding areas. Here, there's plenty of stuff. Yeah, there's traffic.
So, one thing to consider is the only time you're really going to hit bad traffic on a consistent basis is driving to Columbia in the morning or driving away from Columbia at night. That's typically when you're going to hit your rush hours. It's going to be pretty bad on your exits. You're going to get stuck in traffic. But other than that, it's not too bad at all.
Yeah, and one nice thing about this area is we are pretty conveniently located at 3 interstates. 20, 26, and 77. They're all constantly working on themselves. We're hoping to see some improvements.
Yeah, so there's a lot of road construction, and that can slow down things too sometimes. Hardscrabble Road goes through Columbia. It's been under construction for about 2 years now. So, depending on which roads you travel on frequently, you may hit some traffic, but mainly it's just going to be your rush hours and stuff like that.
But you're always, there are parts that, it could be a little bit dry, but most of the time you're within a couple of minute drive of grocery stores, restaurants, shopping, attractions. Here in Lexington, we're 15, 20 minutes away from downtown Columbia. Even in Irmo, you're 10, 15 minutes away from downtown Columbia. Chapin's a little further out, but, within half an hour, you're in downtown. But even in those areas, there's plenty to do. There's plenty of shopping, plenty of restaurants, especially Irmo. There's a lot to do in Irmo.
Mm.
But yeah, so that's something to think that this area that we are in is not a rural area. It's more of a suburban area. So it brings us on to our last one, number 5.
How can I buy or can I buy property in South Carolina if I don't live there? Right, so not everyone is looking to move to South Carolina. Not everyone's looking to move to South Carolina, but maybe they have investment properties or they're looking for an investment opportunity. South Carolina is known for having lower property costs, and we're here to tell you that yes, you can purchase property in South Carolina if you're living in any of the states, Hawaii, Alaska, any of them. And all you really have to do is just first and foremost find a realtor, and then a realtor is going to be able to help guide you.
I also want to pause. It's not just about buying. Okay, guys, so we actually already recorded this one.
Twice.
Twice now. First time, my camera stopped recording. Don't know why. It was very rude. I did not appreciate that.
Yeah, very inconsiderate.
Yeah, so that is why you're just randomly seeing a clip here. But
we were talking about...
I was telling him that it was not just about investment properties.
And the reason I was bringing that up is because I have a client who is an investor who lives out of state, and that was top of mind for me.
So if you're wanting to buy a property here, there's a couple of ways we could go about this. We do virtual tours. We pick out we go over the properties that you want. We pick out the areas that you want. And this is me, you, him, or any realtor that you use. You do a virtual tour. You go through the home via FaceTime, Google Duo, lots of different apps. There's plenty of different apps. And you go through the home, and we try to show you all the little details, any issues that we can see with the home. We try to point everything out. Obviously, it's not quite as good as if eyes were on the ground.
Yeah.
So, that's something to take in consideration when deciding to go that route.
Another thing you could do is to come visit. Come stay the weekend, get a hotel or an Airbnb.
That is what a lot of people like to do. They like to come for the weekend. We show them homes throughout the weekend, or your realtor shows them homes throughout the weekend. And then we put in offers through then, and fingers crossed they get that offer. If not, we kind of continue on the virtual tour trend. And then once they're under contract, a lot of people like to come down for the due diligence period, which is when you can do your inspections and things like that. Mm-hmm. So if they find anything major wrong with the house, you're able to, pull out at that point. Also, we just want to note when doing virtual tours, ask your realtor to do tour the neighborhood and stuff too, to give you a feel of what the neighborhood feels like. And then also, you have a couple other options. You can come down here, you can stay. Unfortunately, we don't have a lot of short-term rental options other than Airbnb or hotels or camping, staying at an RV park kind of thing. And those can get kind of pricey. So that's something to keep in mind. But some people do. They come down here and they stay in those short-term facilities for a while they found their home, get under contract, and close. From then, there's people that will come here and they will rent for a year. Get a year lease, rent for a year, and then while they're renting, they work on finding their home and getting under contract.
Yeah. I think that's going to about cover it.
Yeah, so, there's many different ways of moving here while you live out of state. So, I think we covered our top 5 frequently asked questions. Drop a comment below about what questions you have about moving here if we did not answer them. Also note that a like and subscribe go a very long way, and we appreciate it so much.
Absolutely.
Until next time, we'll talk to you later.
Bye.